big one. Big match deserves big intros. And I thought I'd bring out the WWE intro, the old school, the original Carnage intro, the one that makes you feel like your Ultimate Warrior walking into that ring, because that's how it's going to feel for Arsenal walking into Anfield tomorrow night. People, welcome to Pre-Match Carnage. I've got the vibes, I've got the energy, I've got the passion to do more content again. And I've got some friends to do it with. I mean, what a life, what a feeling. Cup of tea, Oreos, Bilal, Dan Potts, and Conroy. You can't go wrong. You can't see Conroy right now, but Conroy's on his way. Few tech issues. Bilal, man, it's been too long. You disappeared, but now you are back, just like your team. Is there a coincidence? Is there a what's the word? There's a word for it. Come on, guys.
Omen.
Connection, omen, connection. Or is it random? How you been? Where you been?
No. This is planned.
People have been saying, where's Bilal, man? You and Bilal had a connection. I said, yeah, man. Well, Arsenal flopped. I took the piss out of him in the WhatsApp group and he bowled it.
Yeah, listen, man. I had to take a little bit of a break when I saw Kai Havertz come to my club. It took me a bit of time to process it. Last couple of weeks, he's starting to play a little better. The headaches are starting to go away. So all of a sudden, I'm back. And, I think Declan Rice, he's given me something, a bit of an energy boost as well. So, yeah, listen, I've got the Rice in me. I'm feeling strong. So, yeah, I'm back. And, yeah, hopefully, man, as I said, the back end of 2023 going into 2024, we just keep things pushing. And hopefully everything's blessed for everyone.
People, as you're welcoming back Bilal, and of course you're welcoming Dan, do them the honor and respect. Smash a like. Subscribe if you haven't. We're back. I know I've ruined my channel nearly, but there's still life. There's still life in Football Carnage. I'm going to raise it from the dead. And with the help of Dan Potts and the like. Dan, what's happening? How you doing? It's been a while as well.
Yeah, it's been too long, man. Do you know, it's mad. The last couple of times I come on here was probably for the last fixture and also for that crazy team of the season we did that time. No, not team of the season. What was it? We did North East South, me and Lawless, and we got a load of bait for it. But yeah, man, good fun. Always banter when I come on here, and always good to speak to you, my friend, and good to see Bilal again, who I haven't seen for a while. And it's been time since I've seen Conroy as well, man. So big up the chat. Appreciate the love. Respect you all, and good to be back on, man.
Exactly, guys. Coming up to 100 of you guys already settled in. I love it. Thank you very much. I know my algorithms are a mess right now, but the more content I start doing again, the more you like, the more you share, the more you subscribe, the back will come. The back will come, the more back will be. You know why?
The backer, we are back.
Fuck it. The backer will be back. Come on, man. The backer will be back. How do you say this? Ficus? Ficus?
I prefer
I'm
not
stuck
to
already.
Otherwise
I've said it. He says, I've been busy, man. Not seeing you, family, man. Love your shows. Thank you very much, man. I've been busy, bro. I've been busy. A salam from Mauritius. Hope we can beat them 4-0 again. Yes, bro. Hackers in the building. He said, all right, let's have it. Umar says, like the stream nice and early. Salam, Grizz. Salam to you as well. Liverpool will cry tomorrow. Badman says. Badman forward. Badman pull up. Says Liverpool will cry tomorrow. Okay. Oh, look who's turned up. Like, you know what? It's my fault. It's not your fault, Conroy. You know why? Do you know why it's my fault?
Why?
Well, it's my fault because ever since I named you, labeled you, tagged you the James Milner of Football Carnage, you
jinxed it.
Your punctuality, your level of reliability has gone down the pan. You are now very close to Naby Keita levels.
Yeah, no, I can only apologise, guys. I'm being serious because my work finished up today. I went to just use the laptop as usual, and it went to like the buffering screen to load up, but the sign-in just never loaded up. So as I was texting you, I had a plan B, thankfully, so I've managed to grab that laptop. But the only thing is, when you do that, Grizz, as you know, you've got like 3 things you have to sign in to get on, and then it was just that was stressing me out. I couldn't get the @ to work. Don't ask me why, but it wasn't working on the computer, so stressing out about that. So yeah, apologies. I'm definitely not James Milner anymore. Yeah, about maybe 2 games off Naby Keita at this rate, and with his form in Germany, that's not a good comparison at all.
People in the chat, we give him a 2-game chance to save his career. All right, Naby Keita settings. Come on, big up Grizz. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. I think it'll be a totally different game to last weekend. Cody gonna bang this one. Mark my words. You never walk alone. We're gonna get into what kind of game we're expecting. We're gonna get into what kind of teams we're expecting, tactics we're expecting, how we feeling going into this game. What the hell? Everyone, check out my PP.
Looks like
When
a Channel
Grizz-
4 Grizz. I
when-
don't know, like a 10 p.m. kind of show.
When
Grizz.
Grizz used to trap back home. Bruv, these guys are too fast. How's he got my picture? Basically, 90 Minutes had my picture. Like, they were like, we've never seen you without a beard. And I was like, okay, but don't show no one. And then Harry, you know Harry.
Yeah.
You, Dan, you're a good mate of yours as well.
Yeah.
He bloody decided to screenshot it in it,
Share
like
it.
the world. Sure, and everyone's got hold of it. Like, no one's got that picture. That picture's like, oh man, you lot are mad. Get this off.
How
the
old are you
screen,
there,
man.
Grizz? I mean, wow. That's got to be young,
I
a
don't
young
know,
Grizz.
man. I don't know, man. I don't know how old I am. I honestly, I can't remember. Couple of years old. But yeah, but
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
I've known you for about 5 years, and that's definitely
couple of years
Well,
old.
then.
give or take 10. People, as I said, cup of tea, grab an orange juice or wherever you want. We're here. Bilal's here. Conroy is now here. Dan Potts is here now. Bilal, man. First and foremost, people want to speak about one of your ex-managers tonight who had a chance to go top of the table. He didn't.
Yeah, man. First of all, to be honest, I feel like Villa fans, they have a right to be a bit angry, man. I feel like they got robbed tonight, but they should have taken more of their chances. They were dominating literally that whole game. But again, VAR and the refs, I don't understand. I feel like if that, if what happened today happens tomorrow, it'll be given as a goal. Like, surely it was a different phase of play,
Oh,
in my
you reckon?
opinion. Yeah, after, the goalkeeper got pulled or whatever, Sheffield United literally had the ball, lost it themselves, and everyone's back set. The goalkeeper set, he's not being impeded by anyone. For me, it's a goal. I think it's just common sense. But if I was a Villa fan, I'd just be a little bit fuming. But they did well to come back 1-1. But again, with Unai Emery, listen, he's doing a good job. But listen, if they can get top 4, let's say Villa get top 4, I think that's a great season. And if they go far in the Conference League, and hopefully they should be winning that, you'd think. So that would be a good season for them. But in terms of people talking about them pushing for titles and all of that sort of stuff, I think that's going to be a little bit too much for them. But good team, man. Even today, the goal they scored, Douglas Luiz, player linked with Arsenal, don't think it's going to happen. Just to put that out there, don't think it's going to happen at all. But yeah, very good player, deliveries into the box, etc. And yeah, Zaniolo coming on. So they have got options. But yeah, if I was a Villa fan, I'd be a little bit disappointed with what the referees were on today.
Arteta ballers says, oh look, Grizz decided to show up on his channel. If you lose, he will send some next man chicken. Don't know what that means, but all right, mate. Come on, PID says 50% likes ain't good enough, man. Come on, where's the chest for tomorrow? Smash it for the panel. Big up. Thank you very much, people. Bill's in his space, man. Bill's left, like, you know what I mean? He's, some of his takes. Well, we're gonna get into some of his takes, man. But Dan, hard done by your ex fella. You're not your ex fella, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, he is our ex-fella if you look at it like that. And I think he's doing a very good job, man. Listen, I never really saw Aston Villa in a title race, but it wasn't because of the results like that. I expected them to beat them tonight, and I can't sit there and say, see, told you they're not in a title race, because I thought they were going to win about 3 or 4-0, like most others have. We put 5 past them. Newcastle put 8 past them. And I know it was a different manager now and Chris Wilder's back, but I didn't expect Aston Villa to drop points tonight. So I'm shocked, if I'm honest. I thought the goalkeeper was fouled, if I'm honest. He's grabbed hold of his arm. So I weren't really shocked that it was given as not a goal. But I don't think Aston Villa can look at excuses. I'd be looking at myself if I'm... It's a bit like when we had the decision against us at Newcastle and our fans were crying about the VAR, when actually you need to look at your performance yourself and actually look at why you didn't put balls in the back of the net. And that's where I'll be looking at if I'm a Villa fan tonight. I thought the crowd were dead for the last 20 minutes, if I'm honest. And then they wanted to get back loud again when Zaniolo equalised. It was too late. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll be looking at the players tonight and the fact they didn't take their chances. So that's where I'm at. But Aston Villa are going to get Champions League football, and big up to Unai Emery, because to put, that's the first time.
You think they're going to get Champions League?
Yeah, I can see it, man. And particularly if it's 5 places this year, I think they'll finish above Spurs and Newcastle. I really do. I think they'll get that 4th place. And there's 5 places they reckon now, unless, other teams follow United and Newcastle out of Europe quickly, but I can't see that now. So I feel personally like they will get Champions League football, and I hope they do, because I think what Unai Emery's done is mad. I mean, they've dropped points tonight, nearly lost their first game in, I think it's 18 home games. That's absolutely ridiculous record. When you do that at home, got a great chance of doing well in the league, man. So
They've
yeah,
actually
big up
lost that
to boys.
record though, isn't it? Because the wins, they've lost the
It's the wins
consecutive
now,
wins.
yeah. So they've lost it tonight. Yeah.
Mad.
I think it was 14 wins, right, in a row.
Yeah,
So it would have been
something
15
crazy,
today. Yeah.
Well, we've got Bilal, who thinks it was a ludicrous decision. We've got Dan, who thinks he understands it. Of course, we've got the PGMO spokesman himself, Conroy, in the building to smash all of your opinions and sort of favour the referees. Or do you have any sympathy for Villa tonight with some of the calls?
Yeah, I never got a chance to watch the full game, so I've only seen a clip of it. But what I would say is, again, when it comes to keepers as well, we all know that it's a different ball game when it comes to touching a goalkeeper. If you beat a goalkeeper, it doesn't take a lot. You've seen that a lot as well. So I will watch it again, but I'd imagine I'll probably be on Dan's side if that's the case, because you've seen it before. If you put any hands on a keeper to a certain extent, it will be impeded. And you know what? I've actually heard a few goalkeepers come out and defend that recently as well. It's like when you're actually a goalkeeper and you try to, maybe what you're trying to do to move the ball, anything like that can put you off. I'll need to watch it again. But ultimately, if you can't beat Sheffield United at home, hey, Conroy Dean, yeah, that's it. But see, ultimately, see if you can't beat Sheffield United at home, this does annoy me a little bit. I mean, like, focus on yourself. Like, literally, you've lost your 14-game record because you couldn't beat Sheffield United at home. That's what you should be thinking about, not looking for excuses, not having a blame culture which just constantly goes through football because you can't look at yourselves. So it's actually quite refreshing to hear Dan say that, to be honest, because that's the way I feel about most things in football. You get paid the best money, you get all that chance to focus on. Why don't look at what you can do instead of saying, "Oh, is this is the reason for it?" That's just my take on it anyway. And again, if I'm a Villa fan, out of all the teams to lose that record to, Sheffield United at home, I'd be having a look at myself. I mean, fair play to Sheffield United. You've got Chris Wilder in, probably still go down. The way Chris Wilder left that club as well, not great, to be honest. No one really talks about the way he kind of used his position to get a better deal for severance or whatever you want to call it for that. So, yeah, not a big fan of him in that in general. So, yeah, I just think that'd be enough. If I was Liverpool and you're on that great run and it was Sheffield United at home, I just feel like that would
but didn't we?
leave a bad taste for me.
Yeah, but Con, check this out. Didn't we lose our run to Burnley at home? Do you remember?
Yeah, no, 100%. The Ashley was that the Ashley Barnes in the COVID season one, or it might
Yeah.
Again, I would have the exact same feelings. I'm not a hypocrite. I'd say the same. I think there's ways of doing it. And Villa tonight have missed a massive opportunity. That they would be sitting top. It's a good chance. Am I correct in saying, guys, if we draw, they would still stay top?
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Are you going to get a better chance in your lifetime to put the pressure on? Probably not. So if you're anything but fuming at yourself after today, I mean, it's top football. It's small margins. You need to take advantage. So yeah, it's good for us. It's good for us because I'm telling you, I fully expected them to win tonight. So there you go. Advantage Arsenal and Liverpool.
Most people did expect them to win. It's mad, isn't it? Look at that table. Look at that top four. It's slightly pulling away. Would you say, guys? Well, I know Spurs are only a point behind Man City. But Spurs, I don't know. I think they might even struggle to beat Everton tomorrow. I think there's a few tricky fixtures coming along, but we'll have a look at the table in a bit, Bills. I think it's basically time to tuck in. If Villa's loss or issue is sort of adds to the excitement level of this game. Oh, by the way, guys, Total Eclipse, you're too slow. I've already blocked the dickhead. Any dickheads in the chat, if you're not going to be respectful to me or my panelists, you guys know I don't need you lot in here. I don't care. If you're going to be disrespectful, I'll turf you in 2 seconds. I don't need your subscription. I don't need your likes. You stay respected because none of these lot will come for you like that. I'm the only one, actually. So you come for me, but don't come for my panel ever. So the mods, be quicker than me, guys. Come on. I pay you well. I pay you mods well, man. You know what I mean? Do your job, man. Do your job, man. Bills, man, I'm excited about tomorrow. It feels like Liverpool Arsenal of the old days. It's good I've got a youngish Arsenal fan in you. And Dan won't mind me saying, more mature Arsenal fan, like middle age, take that, right? Because this feels like Liverpool Arsenal again. When you're talking, the 90s, I guess, maybe when the rivalry was peak, and obviously everyone's going to talk about the 1989 game from there, onwards and whatever. But this feels big somehow. I know Man City are away in Saudi Arabia, is it, or wherever they're playing some random game. This feels big tomorrow. Are you excited? Because it doesn't take a lot. You need a lot to get you excited. Are you excited, Bilal?
I'm very excited for this game because just the build up to it, the way the fan bases are going at it, from what I'm seeing, just talking to my mates who are Liverpool, and just a general feeling because as you said, this is a big game. Two teams top of the table. If Arsenal win tomorrow, for example, that is a massive statement. I don't care what anyone says. If Arsenal go to Anfield, pick up 3 points with Man City situation right now, they're saying that Rodri's got injured. Apparently, I'm not 100% sure how bad it is, but listen, if Arsenal can put
He's
that
already
between...
in training. He's already in training.
Oh, we're not believing their stories. Okay, we don't believe their stories.
Yeah, he's already training.
Okay, all right, I'll take that on board. But despite that, if Arsenal win tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely massive. And another thing you did say, growing up, you always see every time Liverpool Arsenal, they always put the 89 clips, right? So I wasn't around those times. Listen, I might look it, I don't know, but I wasn't around those times in 89. Yeah, so it's one of those ones again with Liverpool Arsenal. In my lifetime, the two teams have never really been good at this level at the same time. I feel like one team's always been a bit clear of the other one, and that's why there's never been that parity. But this time, it does feel like there's a bit of parity between the two teams. It does feel like it's a bit of a 50-50, affair. And that's what's making it really, really interesting. So I think it's going to be a great game tomorrow. I think, obviously, we'll get into maybe what Jurgen Klopp said, was it 2 days ago now, about the fans. Anfield's going to be rocking. I feel like the fans, just in any big club, the fans get up for the big games. And that's the issue the other day when you guys played Man United, right? I feel like you guys didn't take it like it's the big game,
Weird,
because,
isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah, even though it's Man United, and it's they're a big rival, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that feeling is gone. But when you guys play Man City over the last few years, and now obviously Arsenal, oh, yes, it feels like a big game. So I'm expecting Anfield to be popping tomorrow. I feel like it's going to be absolutely crazy. And it's just about how the Arsenal players can handle that. In my opinion, if you're a big player, you thrive off that. You don't get scared. You enjoy it. Even if it's against you, you're enjoying that energy. You're enjoying that atmosphere. You're going to want to prove a point. So, I can't wait for the game tomorrow. As you said, it does take sometimes a little bit more to get me excited, especially this season.
That's what I'm saying.
There's been points in this season watching Arsenal. Dan, I don't know if you feel the same way, where, the football's not been as free-flowing. It's not been as fun to watch. And honestly, I don't really care about all of that. We've enjoyed Wenger days at Arsenal playing beautiful football. But at the end of the day, if you're not winning anything, it doesn't really matter, But I think the last few weeks, Arsenal are coming into this in a good way. The team's not performing amazingly. I'll say attacking wise, I feel like we could do better. I feel like the finishing could improve. But I just feel like there's something there that we can hold on to. This game could really push our season to that next level.
Guys, coming up to 300 of you guys back in here, smashed it. Absolutely love the support. We're back. We're going to do much more content if Conroy can be bothered. We're back. We're gonna do regular midweek shows as well. We've got drafts lined up as well. Dan, if you remember, Dan, the North versus South team, absolutely butchered. He's got a lot to make up for. His football knowledge was destroyed that night, but he blames
Thanks to Lawless, man.
He blames Lawless. Of course, he blames Dan Lawless of West Ham. But the game's the game.
I put Lesko in the team. I wasn't having it, man.
Who did you? Conrad, was you on that show?
I pulled McGrath, and he goes, "No, I put Lesko in." I'm like, "Come on, man."
Oh shit. Oh, you let him overrule you. But guys, smash the like button. Show us your love. Show us your support. And that will get us motivated to do more as well. Smash the likes, people. Random Short says, Dan, A, I forgot what I was going to ask you, right? B, just how you feeling about this game. Bilal's giving his version. And C, we take it from there. Are you excited about this game? Are you... Because normally, this is apprehension. This is... And I'm going to put words in your mouth that I reckon are real. You're not looking forward to going to Anfield. It's a long trek if you're going to the game, right? You know it's going to be hell for 90 minutes, in terms of the pitch, on the pitch. And you usually come away with 3-4 goals against your name. But last season, you turned up. And for me, it was the biggest footballing lesson we've had in ages. in that opening 30 minutes. You lot were class. Couldn't hold on to the win. We should have probably ended up winning. But since then, and obviously continuation of this season, I think you've played a more mature game. I think you're more controlled. I think this is your best chance of going there and getting 3 points. What's your take? What's your opinion?
Well, listen, I'm never excited to go to Anfield. I'm always more nervous because for me, it's the worst fixture, worst ground to go to. Not worst fixture because, I respect Liverpool, but worst place to go to, in my opinion. I prefer going to the Etihad, Old Trafford. Prefer going to the North London derby at Spurs than this game. This is the one I've just never enjoyed. And I've been there enough to know, and I've seen enough games as well when I haven't gone to know that we've had to hold 5s, we've had to hold 4s. We've been in embarrassment over the last few years. But I must say, Grizz, this is probably the most confident I've been in a while going to Anfield, just for the pure fact that away from home with the trio of Gabriel, Saliba and Rice, they've given us a little bit more steel. We've been a little bit more resolute and we've been harder to break down and beat. And I've been used to Mustafis at the back, brother, and I've been used to Socrates and Skilaccis over the years, and holding 4s and 5s is fair. You know what I mean?
Sebastian
Remember
Scalacci?
him? Remember him? Yeah, Sebastian Scalacci's. Bro, we could keep going. They all had the surname of an S, if you remember, Bilal. Sylvester, Senderos, and Stepanovs and Skilacci. The list went on, man. But listen, we're a lot better now at the back, and I think our defense has been helped even more so by the signing of Declan Rice, and I believe that this could be one in midfield, which I'm sure we'll come on to. In terms of the style of play, Grizz, I grew up on George Graham, bruv, 1-0 to the Arsenal, and I won me stuff, so I'm happy with it. Doesn't bother me how we play, it's how we win. And if we're winning 2-1 and 1-0, and even if it's in the last minute, I'll take it, man, because it wins you trophies. So if we play pretty football and it wins us bugger all, but everyone respects how we play, I'd rather be nasty and win 1-0 and lift trophies at the end of it. So when people say to me, I don't want Ancelotti or Simeone because it's unattractive, Mikel Arteta is the guy you want, and he's playing unattractive at the moment. So if you're liking what you're seeing, maybe one day if it don't work with Mikel, then that could be the sort of manager that you might actually think, oh, do you know what? I didn't want him, but 2-1, 1-0 sounds good. I don't think it's going to be 2-1, 1-0 tomorrow. I think it's going to be quite a cagey one, but we'll come into that. But my thoughts going into this one is that I believe that both teams probably have the utmost of respect for each other, even more than they ever have done before. Because I think there were times, although Liverpool respected Arsenal as a football club, they probably didn't respect us coming there, and they fancied to wipe the floor with them 4 or 5s. If you look back, it's been Santi Cazorla and Lucas Podolski were the last two to win us a game there in 2012. That's how long ago it's been. So it needs to happen. We need to get that kind of omen gone. We've gone to Old Trafford and we beat them since the first time in 2006, a couple of years ago. Last season, we went to North London derby away from home. Believe it or not, we hadn't won there since 2014, and we got that one. Now we need to go and do the same thing at Anfield under Mikel Arteta. So let's hope we can do it, man.
Conroy, it's funny, that, and Bilal and Dan won't be like they'll tell the truth, and I've kind of at stages been a bigger supporter of Arteta than them. I saw the vision in Arteta before them. It's funny. Honestly, I'm not joking. Ask them. But right now, I've got a war hat on for a reason, Conroy, because there's no more Mr. Nice Guy and Arteta loving. Can people stop calling me Grizz Teta? Because those days have long gone. He's very much a rival of ours now. Arsenal, very much a rival of ours now. I believe there are, for example, I believe if they go and win tomorrow, in my opinion, they become favourites. That's how much I think they're getting improving more and more. And the signings of Declan Rice, and even that left centre back, Kyo, or what you call him? Kirio. Their squad looks very strong. They've got options in pretty much every Trossard they bought in the last transfer window. And even Kai Havertz, a lot of raised eyebrows and what? But he's slowly getting something out of him. How do you feel about Arteta and Arsenal and in comparison to how we are?
I think it's absolutely right. It started off as, a bit of a meme and a bit of a joke, the Grizz Teta stuff, but it's actually getting to the point now where it's like, no, this is actually, we're in a title race now, so let's
cut that shit out.
Let's stop it. Yeah. No, actually, I do like Arteta. I have to say, and I think a lot of rival fans will say this, he has impressed me. It's not been immediate. he's definitely learned a lot in the job, which that's maybe a debate if you should ever be able to do that at a team, to be honest. But you're here now, so it's worked, and he is where he is. I think he's doing well. I've been more impressed with their consistency this season than last season, because last season can happen. I said at the time last year, when I compared them to Liverpool 13-14, it wasn't like a direct footballing comparison, because we were defensively quite poor in that season. Relied a lot on our attack, especially Suarez, who's just still, that's the best individual season you'll ever see, just out of this world. But the fact I compare it was, I felt that Arsenal and Liverpool that season, and Arsenal last season, got far too emotional. Every game was emotional. That's not how you win the Premier League. So, say, for example, the Aston Villa away, Martinez own goal in the last minute with the Jorginho strike, or beating Bournemouth with Reece Nelson in the last minute. There was far too many results last season, far too early. And then that can't last. It doesn't. The Loy averages is not going to work that way if you play that way. And that's what happened with Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers. Inevitably, you can't get a full season that way. You need to just be more composed in certain games, not every game, but that's what I felt with Arsenal last year. But I have to say, the fact that this season they've managed to continue, and speaking to a few other Arsenal fans, they've probably, as Dan said earlier, not been as entertaining in certain games, but got the job done. I think from a rival's point of view, that's a very worrying sign from us, but a very good sign for them, because that shows that a word that got bandied around a lot last year was a championship mentality. I think, in general, we just overrate and overgas everything in football nowadays. But I would say it builds the resilience in a team. And if we can do that this season, that's what I've been most impressed with. So for him in general to do that and to kind of not just be a flash in the pan last year, I'd say is the most impressive thing. And it's shown me that I think he's here to stay. Not necessarily that he goes in the top 5 managers in the world right now, but he's still very young. So for him to do it at this stage in his career, if you think about the experience he's going to get, I think he will get there. And I went to the game last year that's on tomorrow. I was at the game. So it was unbelievable. But what I would say as well, that I have to agree with Bilal and Dan on, Anfield was absolutely silenced in that first half. And at the time, we were in poor form as well. We tried the Trent thing inverted for the first time in that game. Didn't really look like we knew what we were doing. But Arsenal kind of looked ruthless in the way they capitalised. Even Jesus' header, that's something you wouldn't. I know he can do that, but he's not always ruthless. But it was like one chance, one goal in that first half. And if it wasn't for the Xhaka thing, maybe that emotion doesn't come back in the game. But I think in general Arsenal have improved since last season with that type of mentality to not get too emotional in each game. So I think it's worrying. But for me, I think you can't not be impressed by what Mikel Arteta has done. I think if you like football, you understand football, and people forget as well. They were ready. There's a lot of people, you guys will know more than me, that were ready to want them sacked. So it does show sometimes in football, if you have got patience, you can put yourself in a better position. I will add, though, the Havertz thing. Havertz is fine, but if you're 60 million, we shouldn't be catering to, oh, we're getting a tune out of him. If we're 60 million, you should be getting a tune. I wouldn't turn around, like there's a few signings we've had for 60 million. I'm not going to say, if you're doing okay, it doesn't mean you're worth the money. That's the only thing I'd say. You don't have to be terrible to not be worth the money. That's all I'd add to that one.
Fair enough. Guys, I've got to, of course, give a shout out to our channel sponsors. Where's the banner? Now you know Conroy and Dan Potts are there. I can cover their thingy bobs now, can't I? Sod them. You know who they are. You don't need to read their names. Make sure you go check out our sponsors, yourfutcard.com. You use the code REDFELLAS, you get 15% off all your banners, prints, game cards, anything you want. Go check them out. They're quality stuff. As you can see, mine's in the background there. As you can see, whoa. Oh, they've even started doing moments. Remember? Any moment that you like, that etched in your memory, ask them for a print of it. They can make it on some brilliant canvas backings. In fact, I've got a couple here. You know, one of those ones here is one I made earlier. Them kind of moments. Hold on. There you go. These are the ones I'm talking about, guys. Do you remember that one?
Oh, that's class.
Do you remember that Allison goal? Yeah, that's the one, bruv. So yeah, anything you want, you can, like, imagine I'm gonna put that there. When we win the Premier League this season, wherever the magic moment is, I'm gonna have it printed all over that thing, gaff. Don't you forget. And in case you don't remember the incident, it's got a little code there. You scan that code and it replays on your phone the actual incident or the goal or the own goal or wherever it was etched in your memory. Go check them out. Solid sponsors of the channel. Solid set of lads. Can't help them, they help us, and everyone's a
I
winner,
bet there'd be
baby.
some good Arsenal ones, Grizz, from those moments. I bet there'd be some good ones as well.
Oh, so enough bootlicking of Arsenal. Sod Arsenal now. It's time to talk about the game tomorrow. Oh, we bigged it up. We've bigged them up. We've bigged them up. Bilal, you deserve to be
You have,
bigged up.
man. You have bigged them up. Fair play
But
to
it's
you.
true.
Boy.
No, but it's true. They deserve to be bigged up, right? But Liverpool, Bilal, every man thought we're dead. We're dead. We're finished. You as well. You gave us some stick in the WhatsApp group before you ran off. You said, "Oh, your midfield is finished. Everyone, you need a whole new midfield. Noonan is not that guy. Virgil's dead. Matip, Gomez dead." What's impressed you most about Liverpool, or has Liverpool impressed you? Because Liverpool might not have impressed you, even though we're one defeat in 26, and that was to that Tottenham madness game where we were down to 9 men. What's changed? What's impressed you, if it has, as I said?
Yeah, well, the main things that impressed me with Liverpool, number one, obviously, I'll just start with the main players. Alisson in goal, obviously impressive. Van Dijk looking like he's coming back to his best. That's already impressive. The midfield for me, it's always been like, oh, is that really going to work? McAllister, a lot of the season playing in the 6, I'm like, is that really going to work? But it's actually doing a job. And you know what? Even the day you did lose to Tottenham on that weird game where I don't even know, yeah, just chaos that game. Liverpool actually did well. For a while, I was like, huh? What, Liverpool going to come out with a result in this game when
9
Tottenham
men.
should
It was
really
mad.
be?
Look at
when
the
Tottenham should be
difference. Look
killing
at the
them.
difference how we played with 9 men compared to how Spurs played against Chelsea with 9 men.
Yeah, exactly. And even was it the week before you got a red card as well? And I think you had
Yeah.
10 men and you got a result. It's one of those ones. So I was impressed with Liverpool early on anyway. But for me, the main guy that is impressing me is the guy I've always rated. When you guys on this channel, in this chat, were coming for him week after week, slandering him. And that is Trent Alexander-Arnold. I remember these people in this chat. Oh, drop him. Oh, Trent this. Oh, Trent that. Trent is the guy. Is the guy. He's the best right back in the world. I know. Listen, people will say, "Oh, he's a liability sometimes at the back." But who isn't? Who isn't in this game? There's people who I prefer not to speak, but they can't even stay fit.
Look at Trippier, Walker, man, in recent weeks, and of course, Grizz James.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Trent for me has been the main guy who's really impressed me as always. I feel like he's just been having that role, even going into midfield sometimes. You know, even the other day against Liverpool, I wasn't convinced early on. You know, when they switched, then Trent went into midfield, but he should have scored the winner anyway in that game. Just very unlucky not to. For me, Mohamed Salah again this season, and this is the one thing about Liverpool, which is I think it's a bit of an issue. It's not Mohamed Salah, obviously. I think the other two next to him. It's these guys, the Nunes, Darwin Nunes. He's the one for me. Is a bit of an issue. Luis Diaz for me, not really showing. You know, is he really that guy? In my opinion, I've not really seen anything from Luis Diaz right now to suggest that he's that Sadio Mane replacement. He's the guy who's gonna really dominate that left hand side. I think right now Liverpool in a bit of a weird situation where the attackers, right, as a collective, aren't actually at the level that I expect them to be at as Liverpool Football Club, as you've been over the past few years. But in terms of the signings, Szoboszlai in the middle, Gravenberch, all of these pickups, even Endo, last few weeks, he's starting to come in and do a bit of a job for you guys. I think you guys have done well considering the situation in the summer where everyone's laughing at Liverpool. Oh, you missed out on Caicedo, you missed out on Lavia. How are you guys going to bounce back from this? Your Liverpool are finished, blah, blah, blah. Liverpool are putting themselves in a situation now where they are a title challenger and, should go on to win the Europa League this season, I'd imagine, and, push for the Premier League as well. So the situation for Liverpool is not bad. You're rebuilding right now. And if you have another good summer window, right? Who knows what's going to happen next season? It's just a few things, as I said, I'm worried about. The likes of Darwin Nunes, I'm not convinced by him at all. I know the other night he did look all right. I think the assist to Curtis Jones was very nice, but West Ham looked like they were dead on their feet for whatever reason. I don't know if people said they were ill. I don't know. But Curtis Jones, even players like this who, again, the Liverpool fans, I remember they're coming on here saying Curtis Jones, sell him, blah, blah, blah. I remember saying, listen, Curtis Jones reminds me of Joe Willock at Arsenal. Where Joe Willock, listen, he's not the finished product now, but give him a chance to develop and you'll see what he will do. Arsenal, in this case, actually sold Willock. He's gone to Newcastle. You saw what he did at Newcastle so far in his career. He's been amazing for them. So same thing with Curtis Jones. You guys give him a bit of a chance. I feel like he will do something for you. And of course, as I said, the main man, Trent Alexander-Arnold. If anything's going to go right for Liverpool, it's because of Trent. And that's all I have to say. That's the main guy that I'm looking at.
Luis Las Vegas. I hope that's your real name. That's mad. He says, Griezmann, I'm taking my boy to his first ever game tomorrow, praying for the W to make it a special day, even more special, and to take us to Christmas #1. Big up, Lewis. Hope you and the young and have an amazing day. Stay safe. Try stay warm because it's freezing apparently tomorrow as well. And yeah, man, hopefully you come out with 3 points, and that would be amazing for the young lad. And even if it ain't, man, hope he enjoys the atmosphere and his whole day out. A fella called Conroy Talks in the building says, hit the likes, folks. Let's go. Hit the likes. Close to 300 of you guys in here. The war hat, because you're scared of the mighty Arsenal. You don't go into war scared, my bro. You go into war when you're ready. You go into war when you're ready to take on and fight for your life. And that's what we're here for, Armano. We're going to fight for our lives. We're up against a very good team. That's why I've got the war hat on. Did you notice I didn't have it on for Man United? That's the problem. They're nothing anymore. And we took our eye off the ball and we paid for it. Tomorrow we cannot afford to take the eye off the ball. First super chat of the night before we come to Dan says, AK, appreciate the love and support. Thank you. He says, Nunes gave Gabriel trouble during the internationals. I've been hearing Saliba better than VVD. LFC go on top tomorrow. Being underdogs is the perfect recipe. Are we the underdogs, Dan, tomorrow? What's your feeling? What do you make of Liverpool this season? And look, I know you're actually quite level-headed when it comes to Liverpool. You thought, and I remember me and you speak off air as well, and you was like, you kind of kept encouraging me. It's mad how we encourage each other, right? About each other's team, because you were sending me like messages and saying, do you know what, Grizz? A couple of signings, I can see you guys back, but you need to get those couple of signings. We ended up getting 4, Conroy, 4 in midfield? Yeah, 4 in midfield we ended up getting. What do you make of Liverpool's rebuild?
Yeah, I think it's interesting is why I said about midfield being key tomorrow, because Liverpool have rebuilt their midfield, but actually so have Arsenal, which is crazy to think that, because Rice and Havertz have come into the mix, as have Alexis McAllister, Szoboszlai, and of course Endo and who's the other brother, Gravenberch. So you've gone and bought those midfielders. I still feel personally that you're a centre half and the number 6, and I'm talking proper Declan Rice type number 6 away from winning the title. I don't think Liverpool are anywhere near as far off as some people have been disrespectful for. I thought Liverpool had a bit of a blip last season and got themselves back on the wagon, so to speak. I also think as well, what's funny is Jurgen Klopp. People just forget that this guy is an absolute monster of a manager. And I don't know, people I think disrespected Liverpool a little bit. I personally felt like you were not going to win the title. I just feel like Manchester City have got too much, and I put Arsenal in that bracket as well. I still think that Liverpool and Arsenal will fall short even to this date, but tomorrow could be huge. And people have said to me about Liverpool, and I've always said that I believe that we are better defensively, but I believe that when you're on form, you have one of the best attacks in the league. I really believe that. What's mad is when you do these combined 11s, which I don't know if you remember the show Room 101. I'd love to put combined 11s into Room 101, man. They make no sense. It is actually embarrassing to look at them. Seen one on Said's channel earlier, and people debating over Szoboszlai and Havertz and starting like getting the guns out of each other. I'm like, and they're trying to put Tsimikas in because you can't have both inverting. It's all nonsense for me. Saka's missing out because he plays right wing, and you can't dare switch Saka to left. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Saka can't play on the left. Salah has to play. I'm just like, look, bin this. Let's just talk about the game. We're not trying to get in each other's teams. We're trying to fight against each other, right? So let's just actually play the game and see what happens. As far as Liverpool are concerned, I still feel you can be got at. And I think it really depends tomorrow from both of our attacks how we finish our chances, because against Villa we were terrible at finishing our chances, and I've got to say against Manchester United I thought Liverpool should have easily won that game, having 34 shots. Darwin Nunez is chaos. I quite like him. A lot of people have given me stick over it because they don't think he's no good, and to be fair, Darwin Nunez is kind of putting me in the mud of late because he hasn't been great, but I do think there's a player there, and I would say that we're in a similar position in terms of Saka, Salah, Diaz and Martinelli right now. We know how good they can be, but they ain't been terrific. They haven't been poor by any means. Salah and Saka have still got numbers. You can go look it up. But when you look at what we know they can deliver, I don't think those 4 have been on it yet. And I think they will. I think all 4 of them will score goals. It's just a matter of when that happens. So this one's going to be tight, Grizz, but that midfield battle for me is absolutely key. And I agree with Bilal. I've always thought Trent was one of the best. I've called him world class, and people said I was clueless and deluded. I think he's a generational footballer, man. I've not seen anything like him. He's a wonderful, wonderful talent, and one that I do get worried about on the ball. One that I like when Martinelli's up against him, because I do fancy his chances against him. But I will say that the guy is a sick footballer, man. He really is.
Fun. Russell says Liverpool have to win. What is it for you? Is it a have to win or must not lose? Especially after the setback of Man United, because it was a setback. We can dress it up how we want, but we really should have won that. Where are you at now in terms of the overall picture and tomorrow?
I feel like going into those 3 games, let's say United, West Ham. Oh, that's kind of sounds. Just take that away. But the last 3 league games, but especially United and Arsenal, felt like we really had to make a statement and get 4 points, ideally 6, but at least 4 points, so we could end the year or Christmas Day on top. Just because I feel like this team, as we're going to discuss, performances have been a bit up and down and a bit more down and up as of late, and you don't really know what team you're going to get. So I feel like we need a statement win like that to really actually, as I said last week, build that confidence in this team, because it's all good to say you've got winners in the team, but you've also got players who are, it's a new experience as well. So there's a mixture in that squad there, which is a good thing. But for me, I must win's a bit strong, because I have to obviously respect Arsenal and the quality they've got. But I feel like after last week, we do need a statement win, because I've calmed down a bit, but I was fuming last week. I know Grizz was coming back from the game, but I'm usually quite level-headed. But when it comes to Man United, Liverpool, I just the years of a childhood being ruined by Man United, and for it to just be so flat against them, it's still, it boils my blood. So calm down now. But for me, I do think we need to make a statement win. I feel like we need to show that we're capable in this race. Because I've got to be honest, guys, I'm always very much the same with Man City. A bit like you, Dan. I'm still more Man City, edging Man City. However, they definitely do look like they're just parts of their game. It's just not quite working now. I think losing Mahrez, losing Gundogan has definitely had an effect where you can just see that the players they've brought in that could maybe just cover that to a certain extent, it's just not working. I know De Bruyne is coming back, and listen, De Bruyne, they've always got a chance, but I feel like there's definitely opportunity for both Arsenal and Liverpool, and we need a statement win, in my opinion. I would take a draw, but I just think last week has just left the fan base in a bit of a, I don't know. Like Wednesday was fine, but as Bilal said, it was West Ham. They looked quite defensively. They weren't great. I just feel like we need that win to really prove our worth in the title race this season, because I'm not sure that squad fully believe right now that they can go on win the title. And if you're beating the team who's the best, or if not the second best team in the league, debatably now, that's a massive opportunity.
We've got the lineups from. Oh, is that my echo? Whose echo is that? Is that? Can you hear the echo?
Yeah, just for a second.
It's gone now.
I think it's gone now.
It's gone now. We've got the lineups, Bill, from last season. Interesting, because there's a lot of changes on both sides there suddenly, right? Like as Dan says, a bit of a rebuild on both sides. Going through your lineup first and foremost, where are you improved? Where are you feeling more comfortable? And is there anywhere where you think you're uncomfortable with tomorrow's predicted lineup?
Well, do you want me to go first? I'll go first then on this one. Obviously, I think like Dan, we're very happy to see Saliba come back in straight away for Rob Holding. I think that is already just such a massive, massive difference in the defense, in everything. And also, for me, Declan Rice coming in for Thomas Partey, as great as Partey has been over, whenever he's fit, whenever that is, he's been good for us. But Declan Rice is just a different level of monster, and just quickly on Declan Rice right now, honestly, I've been saying he's the best in his position in the world. I don't care what anyone tells me. He's not a DM. He's not a number 8. He's not a number 10. He's just a midfielder. He could play any era, 4-4-2, 4-1-5. He could play by himself. That's how, honestly, like Declan Rice is one of those players where we had debates about him last season. We're like, oh no, some people saying let's get Caicedo instead. Because he was at West Ham, a lot of us weren't giving him his ratings. We weren't giving him his due plaudits because he's at West Ham. It's kind of hard sometimes to judge a player when they're still at that level. But once you see him come to Arsenal, you start seeing him performing week in, week out at this high level with the pressure, with everything that's coming around with his big money move. I just think it's been absolutely amazing watching him play. So yeah, for me, Declan Rice and Saliba straight away are massive improvements. Kai Havertz as well. If we've got the Kai Havertz of the first like few weeks of the season, then it's a downgrade. But if you've got the Kai Havertz of the last like 5 match days, I think we're starting to see a little bit of an upgrade, because not only what Kai Havertz has over Xhaka is the athleticism. He's got the longer limbs. He's got the game sense as well, where he can sniff out a chance, where he can find himself in nice positions, kind of like a Thomas Muller, how they're just space investigators. And that's what I've seen from Kai Havertz a lot more.
Oh shit! Is that a new football tactical term?
I don't know. I've heard this. Yeah, space. There's another word for it. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I know that word. I'm going to completely fumble it. But it starts with an R. So if anyone knows that word,
can you put it in the chat? Put it in the
I'll put it in the. I'll put it in the chat. I don't know if it's a German word or.
But I like the space investigators. I'm going to start using that. And if anyone laughs at me, bruv, please don't laugh at me. Yeah, I'm talking space investigators right now. Okay,
right, I'll put it into the chat right now. So,
but I get what you're saying. I mean, look, Dan, coming to you with your team, the obvious one, of course, is Rice. What do you think about the Xhaka one and Havertz one, that switch? Because that was a very, not like for like, but Arteta knew in his head that it's going to be Xhaka out and Havertz in that role, as opposed to where Havertz played for Chelsea and whatnot in Germany. Because the rest of the team pretty much picks itself, holding, of course, Saliba and Partey Rice. That Xhaka and Havertz one. A, tell us your predicted lineup tomorrow looking at that. What do you think is going to happen? And B, where do you think your strengths and weaknesses are compared to last season?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what Bilal was saying about the obvious choices there. I mean, listen, Rob Holding can't even get into Crystal Palace's side. It's amazing. The last 10 games of our title challenge with Rob Holding at the back, a guy that can't get into Crystal Palace's first team. But for me, Saliba, yeah, he makes us stronger for sure. I actually then really disappointed because our best fullback this season has been Tomiyasu and he's out. And I would have been playing him at left back over Zinchenko in this game. I like Zinchenko on the ball, but for me, the in-game management of Arteta cost us a point last season for me. It cost us 3 points last season for me because he took him off when it was too late. Let's be real. Bobby Firmino had put one in the box. A player that I'm actually really glad is not playing because he always scored against Arsenal. But I will say that the midfield is a really hard one to talk about because with Rice in that side, you'd say we're stronger. Because Partey's there currently, you'd say actually, are we as weak or strong? We don't really know. The Xhaka position is the interesting one you mentioned. I think for people who think that Havertz is the Xhaka replacement, I would say he's not, and I'll tell you why. Because if Thomas Partey was fit, Havertz would not be playing in this side. It would be Thomas Partey in the 6, Declan Rice in the Xhaka position, and then Ødegaard move forward. Now, we did see when Partey was fit, Arteta started to do some random things at the start of the season with Partey trying to invert and play right back and all this madness. Gabriel was dropped out. I don't know where he was going there with his head, but we reverted when he was back to this. And I think he has seen Havertz as the guy that can play there, but I prefer Kai Havertz being a lot further forward. And we've certainly seen the benefit to that when we've seen the last month where he's got player of the month, started to score in positions, making a nuisance of himself. I think he can play in a couple of positions, Kai Havertz. I don't really think he's ever held down a proper position. And it worried me when we signed him because I don't want to be paying 65 million for a player that ain't actually got a position yet. That's a worry for me, yeah? And like Conroy was saying earlier, when he's hitting the head balls and link up play and chest it, and people are going, look at that, see, he's trying. Yeah, bro, we paid 65 million for him. I want to see more from people that are just trying to head the ball and flick it on. Now we're starting to see him get into the game and actually make an impact on the game, whether that be through goals or through assisting goals and making a nuisance of himself. I think we miss Granit Xhaka, and I actually do believe that we need another central midfielder that is more of a box-to-box type, because without Declan Rice, we don't have one. We have a lot of people that can hold and anchor that midfield in terms of Partey, Elneny and Jorginho. We have a lot of players that can play the number 10 or attacking 8 role, like Fabi Vieira, Smith Rowe, Kai Havertz, Martin Ødegaard. But do we actually have a beast in the middle that can go up and down? Yeah, we've got Rice, but who's after him? Nobody. So, it's all right saying that Liverpool is still lacking a 6, like I've said, but Arsenal is still lacking a box-to-box, and I'm talking a Fofana or a Kefren Turam, not another Paulinho or somebody like that, because Paulinho coming in, that's great. I like him a lot, but we have got Partey and Rice that can kind of do what he's doing at Fulham. So I kind of want to see something more than that. So that's where I'm at. I think we probably are different in terms of where we are in this 11 to how we're playing, because this was the Arsenal that went free-flowing, gung-ho, 2-0 up in 25 minutes. I don't think we're going to see that Arsenal. So I think that's the main difference there, Grizz, if I'm going man-to-man. But Tomiyasu, I'd play him left-back. Bit of a shame that he's out. Obviously, Timber as well being out is a big shame. But Saliba's going to be the one from last year that comes in and you're going to recognise that he's there, as opposed to Rob Holding. Although it wasn't bad in that game, fair play to Rob Holding. But Saliba is just an absolute beast and a monster for me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that trio of Rice, Rice, Saliba and Gabriel, man.
On looking at our team, look on paper and looking at the names, you'd think pretty much full strength. But if we go back, majority of them were in awful form, and some of them coming back from fitness issues, slight fitness. But mainly it was just a form thing, right? We were Arsenal were probably favourites going into that game, or if not close anyway. As I said, the names were there, but they were just sort of names. Sort of the fitness levels or the performance levels of Henderson, Fabinho, and Curtis Jones. It wasn't the Curtis Jones that we're seeing this season. It was the undecisive, taking too many touches. Curtis Jones, Henderson, and Fabinho were, less said the better, absolute passengers before that second half. And even Mohamed Salah and Diogo Jota weren't themselves. Cody Gakpo obviously had just joined, fairly new. And the back four were the back four by name again, but performance-wise. What do you think tomorrow? We'll get into what we think is going to be tomorrow. And what do you think the mindset, the attitude is going to be? Where's the main difference going to be from that opening half an hour to tomorrow, you think?
Well, I think you're spot on, Grizz. Last season, I think people forget we were really struggling for attacking plan. The 4-3-3 with the fullbacks and just the pressing was just not working at all. And we had so many therapy sessions following the weekend's games on Red Fellas to discuss it. So it's definitely imprinted on my brain. I feel like I always remember I was lucky enough to go to this game, but I do remember it's the first time we tried to use Trent in inverted goal. And to be honest, as I said earlier, guys, it did look like we weren't really sure what we were doing at a lot of stages, especially in transition, a bit all over the place. But to be fair, it was a statement of like we're trying to change up, because the actual game plan that Klopp has stuck by for so many years, that we had to change because it just was not working. So that was the initial point on that. I feel like compared to this season, as you'd said, Grizz, I feel like we've got definitely more well versed in how to use Trent in that way, if we decide to use him in that way. But there's that option there. However, as well, we have seen at times, not as often, but at times this season he has been used as an authentic right back in certain games, and as Bilal mentioned as well, at actual centre mid in other games. But I think, to be fair to Arsenal, I was going to say something about, I think in general, to put someone centre mid, not inverted right back, put someone centre mid who, it's not been great when we've done it as of late. It's kind of been hit and miss at times. Like, he's had good moments, but he's still not well versed in how to be a centre mid. I think that would be quite a big risk.
Are you playing Trent? So let's start. Are you playing Trent right back tomorrow? None of this midfield business, and play Gomez, because there's a couple of shouts for Gomez to come in at right back, because he's been doing a fantastic job. We must praise Gomez because we slaughtered him last season.
Yeah, nice, he has.
You're playing Trent.
Trent right back. Trent right back. Again, I don't, from right now authentic to inverted, I'd probably say slightly more inverted in the sense of to try and dictate, because as Bilal said earlier, he is our best player, he is the playmaker. When the going gets tough, a lot of the time it's give the ball to Trent and he'll make something, especially in games when we're not very good, patterns of play aren't working, we aren't very creative. But for me, you have to put him there. I do not think you can put him at centre mid against Arsenal. I just think that's really quite a big risk. And also, funnily enough, it's funny how, as we're talking to Arsenal fans, Havertz playing in the free for Arsenal and then Trossard playing in the free for Arsenal a couple of weeks back as well. It's like you could argue that there's an area to exploit there anyway with Szoboszlai, who's not had his great form, but he could get in that space there. And then if you are playing Zinchenko at left back, who second half last season had a bit of a poor game, the kind of atmosphere got on top of him. I feel like you want Trent to be in that position there with Szoboszlai. So even if Trent comes inside and Szoboszlai goes a bit wider, and there's areas to exploit on that side for me, I just think putting him in centre mid would just be the risk it could in transition for a player who's not done that. It's people always say just shove him in there. I think we're trying to groom him for that in the future by playing him 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. But against an Arsenal team, against one of the best midfielders in the world right now in Rice as well, he has been fantastic. And just the way they're playing, I think we could get absolutely caught out in transition. And Grizz, come on, you've seen it as well. It's not worked sometimes as well. We put him in the middle against Palace. Sorry, what was it, the weekend? United, and then we ended up changing it again. So it's not as if it's been glorious all the time. So for me, I think you need to go with what you know and put him at right back. You might argue, Grizz, that he should play as authentic right back. I wanted to get your thoughts on that, or do you think it'll be more inverted?
No, I think we're going to play him how we normally play him. Of course, there's a
Yeah.
threat of Martinelli if when he comes in inverted and Martinelli having space out there. But I think if we're going to play on the front foot and we're going to try to assert our game on them, then we're going to play our game that we've processed and created for ourselves. But this process of playing over the last 18 months, we're not going to just suddenly stop it now. We're going to try it out. We're going to continue playing it against the best. Doesn't matter who we're playing. We're going to play our game. And that's the Jurgen Klopp way. We've spent way too long on one position. We're going to run through the other positions. Konate and Virgil, Tsimikas. Any shout for Gomez up against Saka, Tsimikas? That could get tasty. Arsenal fans licking their lips. But Tsimikas has done very well last few games. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Any debate there, or are you sticking with, or are you going for Gomez?
No, I think Tsimikas. I think Gomez has done well, but I think you've got to give Tsimikas credit. He had a poor run, and then he's really backed up with some consistent performances. So yeah, I think it'd be detrimental because, to be honest, in the Man United game, he played quite well, Grizz, because he made a lot of good runs. They just didn't receive the ball. So I'd be looking for that with tomorrow. So yeah, definitely Tsimikas for me.
Midfield, I don't think there's many questions, but let's get your point of view on it. Endo comes in at the 6. He's our only 6. If you're not going to put Trent there, I think McAllister's a huge loss tomorrow. Absolute huge loss. But Endo's got to go in there alongside Szoboszlai, and then man of the match last game, Curtis Jones. Or are you, because Gravenberch is fit and there's Elliot. Which option are you going for?
Yeah, not Elliot for me. I think Elliot's been outstanding when he's came on another night, but I just think he's got a role now where he's that impact sub, and he might not like that, but I think he does a good job there. Do you know, for me, it's a strange one. I thought Curtis Jones done really well, and I can understand why people want him to get a start, but I'm going to go for Gravenberch. It depends, obviously, on the fitness, but I think Gravenberch hasn't played that badly. I think he's actually done okay, and I know he's kind of got a thing there where he hits about 60 minutes, so I think it might be Gravenberch, and then he brings Jones on in the 60th minute. But again, I thought West Ham were very poor defensively during the week, so it was like that last goal to make it 5-1. It sounds so strange, but it was like I couldn't believe the defending. Don't get me wrong, Curtis Jones was fantastic.
The whole game, they were embarrassing, West Ham. Absolute shambolic. It was actually, to watch them, I was actually quite feeling sorry for how bad they looked, man. It was embarrassing. Like that
last goal,
Curtis
was
Jones,
like a goal with 5 asides. It's crazy.
Gee, man, crazy how bad they were, man. But I think if you play Trent in the middle, then because I was speaking to Roms earlier, he was saying I'll probably play Trent, Jones, and Szoboszlai, and I'm like, that to me is, where's your holding midfielder, man? Like, there ain't one. So you're gonna have to play Endo. You have to play Endo.
Roms is talking Twitter talk, man. Ignore Roms, man. He's doing Twitter
big up
talk.
to Roms, but yeah, I
Roms
think
my guy.
Yeah, big up to Roms.
Yeah, but that's Twitter talk, man. You know what I mean? That's the conversation these guys have in their spaces, and they put it out in the realms of real world. Nah, it's never gonna be Trent.
It's just transition. It's just transition. My head's just like transition.
Yeah.
It's the opposite side. People maybe look at the half full. I'm looking half empty. That transition's going to kill us.
But we're gonna finish the strikers because we're going over time. Mohamed Salah. I have no idea right now. Well, of course I have an idea, but I can't say with any confirmation who the other two are going to be. Who's your other two?
For me, For me, Grizz, I think I'd said last week, I think it's got to be Cody Gakpo. I'd said it numerous times. I think variety and flexibility, the ability to play in different positions, I think has went against Cody Gakpo so much because people just think, oh, he's not in great form right now. But again, he's coming on playing right wing, he's playing centre mid, he's playing a 10. Like, for me, his best position and his best run in this team was end of last season, was at false 9, played very well. And for me, he has to start there now. I think during the week, kind of reiterated that as well with his performance. So for me, Cody Gakpo in the false 9, I think he's technically very good football IQ, and he should play. I think he'll cause Arsenal's defence more problems because if I'm Saliba or Gabriel, I'm probably wanting Núñez to play, because I think they can cope with his pace, they can cope with the runs to a certain extent. Not that they can't hurt him, but I think they can cope with that, and they kind of know what they're going to get. I think with Gakpo, he drops into spaces, he kind of comes deep, and like any centre back, they don't love doing that because they have to decide if they go out of position. I think the real question for me, Grizz, I want to get your thought, is the left side. That's the one I'm kind of 50-50 on. If it's Núñez left like during the week, or is it Diaz? So that's the one I'm not sure of.
It's a tough one. I think we're going to go Diaz. I agree with you on the Gakpo. I think he's done enough to warrant a start. And I think we're biding our time. I know Jota's not officially training, but I've been told that he is training. But we're just making double sure because we're losing Mo for the AFCON. So we want Jota to be absolutely ready and wearing it. Don't want to risk it. Arsenal, like Dan and Bilal, are going to be loving it with no Jota because Jota is a nemesis for them. He's like, he's like an absolute cold-blooded killer. I think it's going to be Diaz. I think he's got a lot to prove. But the Diaz that I remember before Partey took him out at Emirates last season was magical. Diaz was the most informed attacker in the league. People forget that very easily. But Diaz was playing sparkling football.
Quality player, man. Don't know what's happened to him.
Even at that game, Núñez and Diaz gave Arsenal a horrid time. And then he was out. That took him out. Dan, basically that injury ruined this whole season. He was never back. And then obviously he's had the off-field issues with his father. So he gets a credit note from me for at least, a few months, get his head back. Because he is a quality baller. He doesn't look himself. But what a better game to maybe bring yourself back into form against the mighty Arsenal tomorrow. I think it's going to be Diaz, Gakpo, and Mo with Elliot, Gravenberch, and Núñez to come off the bench. Gives us options. Your options are basically, I think your team is pretty straightforward, right, guys? What you said. Ben White will play right back. Saliba comes in. Zinchenko will play. Havertz, Rice, Odegaard, and your front three. Maybe a shout for Trossard somewhere, or no?
Nah, it'll be Havertz. I think he's going to continue to play after his month. Yeah. The thing is with us, you've just said your bench, and my God, I wish our bench was nice at times. It's still very, very short. People like to say we had a great 9 out of 10 window because we signed Rice, but we're still well short, man. Listen, we can bring on Trossard. I think he's a good player. But other than that, Bilal, I'll tell you, we're back to Eddie Nketiahs and Reece Nelsons and people like that don't really scare Liverpool, I can imagine. I don't know, you might tell me different, Grizz, but I don't look at those. If I was a neutral, I wouldn't look and go, oh, no, they're warming up Eddie. They're warming up Reece Nelson. I'd be like, oh, this is good. Let's get Saka off for Nelson or Martinelli off for Eddie or Jesus off for Eddie. So we haven't really got the strength in depth that we need quite yet. Yes, we've got players out. We've got, Smith Rowe, Fabi Vieira. I think Smith Rowe might be back now. We've got Fabi Vieira out, Timber out, Tommy Asu out, Partey out. When they come back, of course, we've got players, right? But at the moment, there's only really attack-minded. We've only really got Trossard that can come on and impact the game. So, and maybe Smith Rowe if he is going to finally find some form. But what's a mad one, right, is the actual thing I've just been sent from someone, which is a mad stat, which is definitely going to make it interesting tomorrow. So whatever happens tomorrow, Arsenal or Liverpool, one of them will be top of the league at Christmas. The last 6 teams to fail to win the title from that position were Arsenal and Liverpool. So it means that Arsenal and Liverpool are the only teams not to. So do we want to be second tomorrow? Oh, it's there. There you go.
Yeah, I did in the background.
Do we want to be first? I'm like, what happens tomorrow now? Do you want to be top of the league or do you want to be second? Do you believe in superstitious omens and all this stuff? But listen, of course, we both want to win the game and be top of the league, right? But when I look at it like that, I'm like, wow, that's not really good.
Surely it cancels out anyway. it cancels out anyway because like 2 teams were bottled being top at Christmas. Like it doesn't matter at this point, so anyone can be top. I don't think it makes any difference.
Nah,
You
I've
just
never been
take a few
about those
points.
kind of things, but it's just
Yeah, it's
interesting. I
nonsense.
got sent it to me. I thought, what? One of us is going to be top, and we're the only 2 teams. They ain't won
Madness.
it from there.
Maybe
Yo,
Villa win
what's
it
good?
then.
Yo,
Yeah.
please behave. Yo, what's good? Sending a super chat. It says Jones is first name on the team sheet for me. Closest thing to McAllister, a facilitator. There's another one for you, Bilal. A facilitator instead of a space investigator. And he helps out build up more than Gravenberch, Conroy. We'll need more than a ball carrier, Gravenberch, and when Szoboszlai can do the same. I get his point. I think
Yeah,
I
good
think
point.
the balance of the team in recent weeks with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch has been off because they're both ball carriers as opposed to ball progressors with passing and movement. There's a difference with them. I think the balance is one or the other, and Jones matches up with both of them. What you find is Harvey and Jones are more ball players, whereas Grav and Szoboszlai are powerful runners with the ball. Well, Szoboszlai is a powerful runner. Gravenberch is more graceful, but they lack the control that we've witnessed basically against Man United. We didn't really have enough control, I thought.
Yeah, I
But
would.
it'll be
It's
interesting.
maybe you would be with it as Grizz as Gravenberch is actually. I didn't think he played badly, whereas Szoboszlai did. So I think in my head it's like I'm always going to put Szoboszlai in this game, but it's maybe on that. I didn't think Gravenberch done that badly. So, but I understand the point. It's a good point about the McAllister not being there. But Jones needs to step up then, because there is times where he'll be indecisive, and that's not what McAllister is. So he's got that. That's my worry with Jones. Sometimes he just
Well, he's going to have to be.
can't.
He's going to have to
Yeah,
be because
gonna have to step
Arsenal,
up.
with Rice and Havertz and Werner, Havertz and Odegaard, they are pressing machines.
Just in.
Yeah, they don't look it, but Odegaard is a very good presser and he leads the press for
Yeah.
Arsenal. So they're gonna have to be decisive. We're not gonna have time on the board tomorrow. Big up JJ Ash in the building. He says, "Big up Grizz, my G. Tomorrow is the day we officially announce ourselves back and have our Arsenal back. Mark my words, bro. My condolences in advance," he says. And then he has a massive grin on his face. Speak soon, Ash. Speak soon. Guys, we're going to end with a few predictions. I'll start in reverse order. I'll start with Conroy, who came last, but I'm not going to give him the extra time to think as punishment. So, what are you saying, Conroy?
Yeah, Grizz, going to try and go for half full the cup, but surprise everybody. In my head, I've been thinking, listen,
okay.
a few previews, some great stuff out there. There really has been some top stuff for this game. I was thinking, 1-1. I've been thinking that today. But I do feel that I just think hopefully we turn up. If it's not even from a great performance standpoint, is our individuals that we've got. If it's a Szoboszlai, who I know that's a bit daft because he's not been great form, but a Trent, I just feel like someone can step up even if we don't play that great, and get the crowd growing and get the ground on top of Arsenal and really go for it. So I'm going to go for 2-1, Grizz. That's my prediction.
Red Fellas in the building takes his name after our famous show, soon to be award-winning show on Sundays. Red Fellas. He says, "Yes, Grizz and the boys, great show as always. I like this Arsenal fella. Always talks with balance." You can't be talking about you, Bilal. Must be
It's all
Dan.
about Dan, 100%.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm about to predict 7-1 Arsenal, man, so come on.
Can I reveal some of your takes, please, on live on air from the WhatsApp? Bilal was on Arteta's case only about 4 weeks ago and wanted Bilal. Can you reveal to the realms of the internet who did you want in
I have no idea, to be honest. It might have been Simeone at one point. It might have been like I said, if you were going to do this terrorism football, we might as well just get the real thing. That's what I was on. You know what it was? There was one game this season that had me mad for like 2-3 weeks, and that was Arsenal 2, Fulham 2. I don't know why that game just irked me so much. Yeah, but listen, sometimes, man, Twitter's not a real place, man. Twitter's not a real place. You put your things out there. And you know what it is with Arteta? I've always said it, right? I've always known this man will never be sacked. He's another Wenger. He's here forever. This is how I actually feel. I feel like he's a
Why do you think that? Why do you feel that?
This is an Arsenal Football Club. They don't like sacking managers. You know what I mean? This is so I can say what I want. I know nothing's going to happen. So there's no consequence for my words. It might, like if I was a Chelsea fan or something, if I say poch out, and a couple more fans start saying it, oh, it might actually happen. Might get sacked tomorrow. But I know Arsenal Football Club. Arteta's never going anywhere. The only way he goes somewhere is if he does something absolutely catastrophic, and I can't see that happening. So listen, yeah, big him up for now. But we'll talk about. Keep doing your predictions. Let me think a little bit longer, man.
Interesting. No, you haven't got much longer because after that you're coming. JJ Ash, let's show your support, people, and smash before it ends. I hope we're over 200 likes now. That would be a lovely, lovely little ratio there. Over 400 of you still in there on a Christmas Eve. Is it Christmas Eve's Eve?
Christmas Eve's
Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Christmas Eve's Eve?
Yeah.
First generation. Third generation. But big up, Ash. Thank you for the support. Dan, prediction time, my brother. Heart and head you can do. You can give me 2 if you want. You can give me heart and head. I'm a generous
I'm going
host.
with 1.
You're never going to get generous host like me, son.
No, I'm not, man. I'm not. Big up. Listen, I only need 1 prediction. I'm going to go with exactly the same scoreline as the last years. I'm going 2-2.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a draw. I think both teams are going to be like too nervous to lose the game, if you get me, but it will be an entertaining one for that. So I will go 2-2. And a draw at Anfield is never a bad thing. Let me say that. But of course, I want to win.
Coming in, the man from outer space.
Listen, I've gone up to the
Come
sky.
on, son.
I'm trying to get the predictions. But,
I've just realised that space investigators and got the space.
Oh, it's all about space today, people.
And listen, that's how maybe the game will be won.
Astronaut Bilal, come on, talk to us.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've been having 2-1 Arsenal in my head, and one guy we haven't mentioned all stream actually is David Raya. Like, I don't trust this guy. I don't know, Dan, if you trust him. I don't trust this guy. Ramsdale last season got us a point in the end, right?
Yeah.
That
David
save.
Raya. Yeah.
At the
Unreal
end.
save.
Saves.
Unreal save.
Yeah, ridiculous. But
I'm kind of, do you know what it is, Bilal? I'm kind of like bored of talking about it now because it's been the whole season. We're sitting top of the league and we want to talk about the keeper all the time. It's like, do you know what? If you don't like it, fair play. I'm not a huge fan of it. Raya's now number 1. Ramsdale's toast. He's off somewhere in the summer or January. We're going to have to do with it, innit? And I'm not too pleased with it either. I quite like him. And I think David Raya's attributes are the reason he's in goal, but I ain't seen a huge upgrade. I'll say it now. I've not seen a huge upgrade from this. So, when Pep Guardiola replaced Joe Hart with Edison, you realised straight away. And Alisson as well, to be fair, for Mignolet, you're like, boom, this guy hasn't been an Alisson or an Edison for me. Not yet anyway. But, yeah. Sorry, Bella. I'll cut over you, man.
When Pep replaced Joe Hart, was it not Bravo that came in?
Yeah, Edison? And then straight away he realised he got it wrong. And then he went and got it. So maybe, listen, Arteta could do that. Arteta could do that. He could think, you know, I got this wrong. He is only on loan, Raya. So it's like, could just get rid of both of them and go and buy, I don't know, Donnarumma or something. Who knows? I have no idea. But when I'm looking at it right now, I'm not seeing a huge upgrade from Ramsdale, if I'm honest.
Yeah, his like the set pieces. Even the other day against Man United, Liverpool had some good chances at corners. And Raya, honestly, anything in the air, like even the other day against Brighton, they even shoot. There was a little cross and he's like fumbling. I'm like, yeah.
Conroy,
anyway,
don't you dare reply or get involved in this goalkeeping chat. Me and you need to stay out of this. Don't fall for this bait. Because every time we spoke about Onana last week, guys, and then he fucking goes and keeps a clean sheet at Anfield. So I'm not talking about Raya at all. Yeah, I think he's a wonderful goalkeeper and all that business. Bilal, what are you saying?
Yeah, so I'll just go 2-1 Arsenal. I can't really see us keeping a clean sheet, but hopefully we can find some.
Big up, Bilal. I wish I had more chest like you, man. Big up, bro.
Wait, listen, 2-1 is very humble for him. I thought he's gonna.
Oh, really?
As usual. Yeah. You
know what it is? This game, really and truly, we should be predicting like 4-3 or 4-2 because that's normally what happens. Like it's always stupid amount of goals in this fixture. 2-1 sounds very conservative.
This guy, guys, mark my words. Mark my words, this game will be very reminiscent of the Man City Arsenal game of a few weeks back. I think Arsenal play total different football now this season. It's a more controlled type of game. I think there's going to be 1 goal in it, guys. I genuinely believe 1 goal in it. I think Liverpool will get that goal. Hold on, cough alert.
Hey, he built that one up as well. He's built that one up. That was built up. Do you know
This
what
is
worries me? Just
this is why
quickly
I'm not
while you're
going
coughing.
tomorrow. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, just quickly while you're coughing. What worries me is that you'd said that, and the 2 away games we've lost have been 1-0 at St James's and 1-0 at Villa Park, and we have obviously come with the kind of mindset of trying to get. Arsenal can, if they win at St James's Park, if Arsenal win at Villa, and this is like the 3rd time lucky, if Arsenal do it at Anfield, and it's been 1-0 to be fair, Grizz, so it makes sense why you're going for that, bro.
I think this Arsenal team is total different. They're not going to go gung ho. I think it's going to be a try to control the atmosphere like he usually does. But I think you've got the players to do a better job now. And from our point of view, we can't allow it to be a drab like the Man United. We're going to have to go. We're going to try to entice you into counter-attacking us and pushing players forward, and then hopefully we can get you on the counter. I think it's going to be a chess match. I think it's going to be intriguing. I think it's 2 quality teams. One world-class coach, one coach that's attempting to bridge that gap and become world-class. But it's going to be a great game. It's been a world-class show, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Conroy. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Bilal. Before I start coughing like mad, this is why I'm not going tomorrow, guys. I can't make it. I don't want to sort of give my illness.
If you're not in shape, give your ticket to someone else, mate. That's what Jurgen Klopp said. So you're following his orders. You're a good fan.
That is a good one, Bilal. That is a good one.
I'm
gonna leave that to Bilal. Bilal, the last bit of banter for the night. Maybe we'll have the last laugh. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm trying to find out the right intro because we're about to go. Dan, Conroy, Bilal. Make sure you go and check out Dan Potts' channel, guys. Make sure you check out. He's doing great work. 12th Man
podcast. That'll do.
12th Man podcast. Go and check him out. Always doing regular content. Love him to bits. As people said, one of the most level-headed Arsenal fans. And that's why I ask him. You guys know I know about 100. I know hundreds and hundreds of Arsenal fans, but there's only a couple that I like speaking to on a regular basis. The rest of them can just take rest. People, pretty much carnage. Liverpool, Arsenal. Speak soon. Take care.
Peace.